Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show, and we have a wonderful show for you. We got 8 more to go.
8 more.
Amanda and I are counting down. We're enjoying the heck out of this. We are going to have a lot of fun. No angst here and no tears. Amanda told me if I cried, she'd beat me to a pulp. So I'm
It was
not allowed
actually
to cry.
the other way. He
I'm not
threatened me with
allowed to cry
violence.
at all. She said, I will take you outside and beat you. So we're going to have fun. We're going to try to make sense of all the things that are going on 904 now.
There's a lot.
We have comments. We have, it's me. I'm Mike Davis. I always have a comment.
Who knew the best reality show was right here?
Right here. I know. Bravo had called.
No.
Yeah, they did. They actually did. It's been pretty interesting negotiating that out. So, but I told them I don't live in controversy, so it ain't going to be me.
But you live in the barber shop. You can see your face again.
I can see my face again.
Yeah.
I did go ahead and shave everything. Figured it'll all grow back.
Yeah.
I got to grow it back. I have a beard on my passport, and I'm leaving the country. So eventually, it's all got to get grown back.
Yeah.
Some semblance of it, although I don't think it matters.
I think you look good either way.
Thank you. That was
What's
very nice.
Darcy's
You're the
opinion?
first. Darcy has not had a comment.
No?
She's like, whatever you want to do, it's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, she doesn't care.
I have
So,
strong opinions, but I think I lost that battle.
You had with Louis.
Yeah.
What did you want?
We had a long-standing agreement that, because we've talked about it, I don't like kissing beards. It's never been my favorite thing to do.
I'm growing mine back right now.
The safest position with
Grow
me
that back right
is
now.
sitting there with a beard. And so Louis wanted to grow a beard on occasion, and so we bartered that March would be his beard month.
Yeah.
And he enjoyed it so much in March and got so much positive feedback. And he did a better job like oiling it and conditioning it. And I don't know, beard care, I guess he's matured into that.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't as itchy and scratchy to kiss. So at the end of the month, I was like, if you want to keep it, it's you got, like, you can do that. I'm not going to be a hater on it. If that's what you want, that's what you want. And so I've given up you can only grow a beard in March, and I have still deigned to kiss him.
March is not no shave March. It's
I know,
no
but
shave
our
November.
anniversary's in November, and so I didn't want beardness in
All
November.
right. That's making a little more
And
sense.
so that's why we had to negotiate so that it wasn't in a month that I cared about pictures.
okay. Now makes a little more sense.
But, sometimes Easter's in March, and so every now and again we would get a beardy March Easter picture.
Easter picture.
Yeah.
No, I just grew it because I was down in I was on a surf trip,
Yep.
and I just grew it when I came back. I just didn't stop, and then I was like, okay, this is cool. And then it kind of became me versus the ocean because we had no waves while I had a beard, and I'm like, I'm hanging on to this beard till the ocean gives up.
Yeah.
So eventually the ocean gave up, and we got some waves, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm good now. But
Nice.
it doesn't matter to me. I thought it would be worse during the summertime, but when we go to Scotland, it's going to be cold, so I'll probably
That'll
let it
work.
grow. It's probably going to be an on again, off again
I'm
thing.
impressed that you don't have a tan line from the beard, because you've been on a couple of surf trips now with
Mhm.
the beard.
Yes, I don't think it was thick enough.
No?
I hate to say that. I don't know if
White
that was
boy beard?
nice, quiet dig on your part. That was like the worst beard I've
No.
ever seen, but I wasn't going to say
No,
it.
I think you look good with the beard.
Well, thank you. Let's make some money
Oh, okay, fine.
for this show.
We're not going to do grooming tips all
No,
show?
we're not doing grooming tips all day long. That's
All right.
not this show.
Okay.
All right, opening their doors in 2008, Brightway Insurance, the Casey agency, has proudly stood by their customers through hurricanes, major floods, hails, and fires. Through these events, the agency has become a much-needed insurance resource in times of trouble and hardship. Honesty and integrity are the pillars of their core values, says owner Ashley Casey, and they pride themselves on being insurance experts while developing strategies that help their clients meet their insurance needs. Brightway Insurance, give them a call. They insure this show. I hear they're insuring the new 904 now.
Yeah.
God help them.
Bravery.
Bravery.
We love that. in
I
our
love bravery from my
insurance
insurance
reps.
agent.
Abair Kresge and Associates. Are they still on vacation? They are a full-service local CPA firm with a team of skilled professionals dedicated to providing top-level service in the areas of tax compliance, planning for businesses, individuals, estates, and trusts. They do audits, reviews, and other accounting services. They do business valuations, forensic analysis, and litigation support. You can reach them at 460-0747 or online at abearkresgeCPA.com. We also have SolarStick. They were established in 2006. SolarStick is a local portable power company proudly committed to American manufacturing, constant innovation, and creating jobs right here in St. Augustine, Florida. SolarStick's focus on providing solutions for self-sufficiency helps users all over the world complete missions and save lives. SolarStick, changing lives, saving lives, and reviving American manufacturing.
All right, an Anastasia Diner and Moultrie Creek Diner are neighborhood diners that are more than just a place to eat. They are where hospitality blooms and friends gather. Bring your own friends or make new ones. The coffee is always hot, the smiles are genuine, and the food tastes like home. Every meal is a chance to make memories, share stories, and create bonds that last a lifetime. It's not just about the food on the plate, but the community that comes together at the table. Come see us at Moultrie Creek Diner, Anastasia Diner, and tell them Andy sent you. An amazing guy, does so many good things in this community.
Yes, he does.
I was in there Saturday morning. Sunday I was early at church. So Saturday morning I was in there. The breakfast was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
It's always good.
I had to start eating fruit though with breakfast. I'm not sure I like this. Darcy doesn't know.
Who decided that?
Well, Darcy doesn't know, but I was like, you know what? I love the hash browns, but I'm just going to throw some fruit. They almost fell over.
Yeah.
They asked who I was.
Yeah.
They said, because I do eat the same thing almost all the time. In fact, that's what we're going to do. I got a question.
Okay.
I got a question for.
I had my
questions.
first carbs yesterday.
And how did that
and
go?
my first taste of chocolate again.
Oh, we so overdosed on sugar yesterday.
Yeah.
We had more sugar yesterday than we have in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And my Garmin watch checks like how my body's doing, and it comes up with this body battery rating. And sometimes I agree with it, and sometimes it's like, dang, that's spot on. But I knew from all the sugar we had yesterday, it was never going to let me get to 100, which is the max number. So I woke up this morning at like 55, and I'm like, okay, it was worth it.
Yeah.
I got half of what I'm supposed. So tonight we'll be back on the very limited limited sugar all day. So I'll sleep much better. It's the sugar, and it's whether it's sugar in sweets, or candy or stuff like that, or whether it's sugar and alcohol. It just tanks your body when you're trying to recover and trying to sleep.
I didn't have any alcohol yesterday. I did have one Cadbury cream egg. And
well, that counts as 6 drinks.
Then I had some pasta and some potatoes. So those were my first non-meat and cheese.
You haven't had. How long has it been since you had a potato?
Since I had a potato, since before Ash Wednesday. I think about 2 days before Ash Wednesday.
So 40 days.
Yeah. Well, Lent is longer than 40 days because Sundays are feast days. So probably about 50 to 60.
50 to 60 days.
So almost
I couldn't go that long without a potato.
I missed potatoes.
The Irish in me would not let that happen.
I missed potatoes.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Absolutely unacceptable.
That one was a hard one.
Yep. All right. I got some comments on this morning. So I'm going to do my thing. I don't normally do this, but I usually just wing everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll do kind of some cliff notes, but today I wanted to make sure I got it all right. So for those of you that are watching all of this stuff with the 904 Now, here's my outlook and my perspective on it, right? If you grew up in St. Augustine or you lived here for some time, you watched this slow, agonizing demise of the St. Augustine Record. Each year, our local paper covered less and less of local news, and our hometown was left wanting for information. So they had less local stories about sports, events, people, all the great things that your kids would be doing in sporting events. All that stuff just slowly faded away as the Record became less and less of a presence in reporting news and more of a presence of just national news, which you can get anywhere now. Then along came Pete Melfi. In 2020, Pete Melfi invented the 904 Now. He quickly became the go-to source for breaking news. Finally, we had a local news source that we could rely on. If somebody said, hey, did you hear something that's going on? You didn't go check the Record's website. If you were smart, you checked the 904 Now. You checked to see if Pete had been there on site reporting it. You checked to see if he had a story on it. But Pete was the go-to guy, and he was accurate. He was good about that. Pete was quickly joined by a talented group of co-hosts. It was like watching the Avengers assemble. Honest, straightforward local news. No bias, just tough questions for our local leaders, delivered with an oversized helping of fun and laughter. If you watch the morning show, you're constantly laughing all the time. You're getting information, but it's a fun way to present it. They weren't so stuck up that you couldn't enjoy it. And so obviously a huge growing for the network. I mean, out of nothing in 5 years, the 904 Now has become something that people were really upset if it was maybe going to go away. And that's a huge compliment to the work of everybody on the 904 Now, everybody that did a show, but most especially Pete for inventing this thing and giving us all a format where we could come talk. So Troy's buying the 904 Now, if you haven't heard that. Pete's still going to be doing a show. We're waiting on details on that, but maybe as soon as this week, his new show will be premiering. Davey has started a new show on a different format. And just like the Avengers at the end of Infinity War, Captain Marvel over here is going to go off and save the universe. In her case, the universe is her family. So she's going to go do that. And just like Captain America, the oldest guy on the show and the oldest guy in the Avengers, I'm leaving to spend time with my girl, Darcy. I am going to go enjoy that and do that. I wish Pete the best with his new show and Florida Man Games. I hope that they're more successful than even he can imagine. And Pete has quite the imagination. I wish Davey the best of luck in his new venture. He's got a huge heart for St. Augustine and our philanthropic community. And thanks to him for being on our show on Tuesdays and making it what it was. To my old friend, Troy, and his amazing son, Blake, I wish them the best in running the 904 Now. Troy's years of working in local government, well, I'm not sure we got what we paid for as taxpayers, being an entrepreneur, radio host, podcaster, and living downtown have given him a unique perspective on reporting on St. Augustine and St. Johns County. And Blake is absolutely an amazing young man with a wonderful work ethic. So he was in here today keeping an eye on us to make sure we did not misbehave.
We have a new boss and a new director
He made me call him sir before the show.
I know.
I'm crushed. I've never called Troy
sir. A little bit.
Unless I said, sir, you don't know what you're doing as a referee. To our collective audiences, a huge thank you. You guys have been amazing. Love all of your support, your friendship. I'll miss that as we kind of phase out of the evening show, but it's been absolutely amazing. Whether it was people calling in on the radio show or talking about the radio show or all the comments online, you guys have been absolutely wonderful, made this worthwhile. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it for 13 years. I don't long ago stop. So in my opinion, the people of St. Augustine wanted more and better news coverage. You now have more options than ever before. This is much better for our community than a failing newspaper that I think hardly anybody gets.
Yeah.
As for me, you can choose a side if you want. I'm not going to take a side. I will simply pray that each one of my friends succeeds in their new endeavors. Pete, Davey, and Troy have all made the shows that I was on with them better. Each one of them made me work harder. And as a result of that, I hope that we gave you a better show, whether that was in radio or podcasting. So to all three of them, my thanks, Godspeed to each one of you, and best of luck. That's it.
Yeah.
I felt like somebody needed to say something. Yeah. So I did.
Well, I'm glad that you did.
Yeah. Look, I love those guys. They're all awesome. A lot of really, really good shows, a lot of good time. So many co-hosts that I had. I mean, no one would put up with me or show back up for the second show. So you're like the only one that's like, yeah, I'm in. So apparently cooking dinner was miserable at home. You're like, no, I'll just do a podcast.
I get paid more for this than I do cooking dinner.
That's it.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said something. I hope that everyone has an amazing, bright future ahead of them with all of their endeavors. For me, it feels a little bit like we're going through a divorce, and there's like that moment of, do you pick mom's side? Do you pick dad's side? And so I've been stressed about this for weeks because it feels hard. It is a transition, and transitions are hard, especially for someone that doesn't like change. So,
yeah, but I look at, keep doing the same thing all the time. You worry that just becomes, you just get in a rut. And I feel like that was one of the blessings. We had so many changes and so many different people that were in and out on this show that I never kind of felt that way. I mean, there were days that I'd walk in and go, man, thank goodness I have a co-host today, or you were here, or whoever. And I was like, this is going to be good because I'm worn out and beat from work because I do have a full-time job.
Yes, you do.
I do have a full-time job.
I just have a collection of part-time jobs. And then, momming duties. And
that's a full-time job.
That's
a full-time job.
And then a collection of part-time jobs.
Yep. Yes.
Yes.
So I just think that's absolutely awesome. So yeah. And I did get a lot of time to think about this whole Avengers thing.
Yes, you did.
I did. It was like it ran around in my head, and I was like, well, wait a minute. If like you and I are part of the Avengers, then where's everybody else? I had Davey as Thor. I had Pete as the Hulk.
Yeah.
And I had Pete as the Hulk because Bruce Banner is this amazing scientific genius. which I think Pete is a genius for coming up with this. But then there's the gamma ray radiation side, which I looked at the Hulk as his Florida Man games.
Yeah.
Right. So the Florida Man games is becoming bigger and bigger a personality than Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
So I thought that was, and then Troy, this killed me.
Yeah.
Because he and I always argued over who could be Tony Stark. But since he bought the network, he actually is Tony Stark. So that kind of just, that hurt to say it.
You had your opportunity.
I know I had. I could have picked anybody. It was me.
Yeah.
And then I had Blake as Agent Coulson.
Okay.
Because he's, the really kind of level-headed, cool guy that's behind the scenes trying to keep everything going.
I don't think he has my trading card.
No, he does have. He has baseball cards. He's got baseball cards. He doesn't have Avengers.
I'm sure he does.
He doesn't have your. No, he doesn't have your trading card. He doesn't have you. If he shows up with your college swimsuit trading card, he has been on the internet way too much.
That's too much.
That's way too much.
Nobody needs that.
You don't need to know that. In fact, he should keep that to himself if he has that. That would just be creepy.
Yep.
Maybe we should ask him that on Thursday.
Yes. Kathy says, I have no idea why, but I'm supportive of all of you. Very fortunate to have ridden the ride with you guys. And we love you, Kathy.
Oh, Kathy's awesome.
We love your support. And we love all of your support for everyone. Everyone's doing something cool and exciting. And I think you accidentally hit a tag.
I'm trying to get, this is my problem with technology. I have no idea how to use technology.
You've got a Galaxy phone, so that makes it harder.
Oh, man. So now I got to shut the whole thing down, crank it back open again. And it's 100% me.
Yes.
Oh, it's just me. One day I'll learn how to use this thing. I know how to dial numbers on it, and I can occasionally send a text message. So.
Now you're never going to learn how to use it because you're not going to be forced to be on it on air. That thing's going in a lockbox.
I had a conversation with Pete today, and I talked about that. When I retire, my friends might really get mad at me trying to get a hold of me because I might get a Faraday bag and just drop my phone in it, and no one's going to know where I'm at. Yeah. Surveillance capitalism has me just completely aggravated. I searched for two things last week, and I'm not going to say what they were because they'll all appear in your feed as well. So it'll be nice to y'all in your algorithm. But I have YouTube TV, which is owned by Google and all that stuff. So there was an ad break. I didn't have to watch the other ads, but I had to watch the ads for the two things that I searched for last week. So I was like, this is really ticking me. One, I was just curious. I didn't want to buy either one, but I am going to watch those ads now until I search for something else stupid that they're partnered with that will show up on my TV and my phone and all the other stuff. So the best one ever was this surfer that said, if you want your wife to know what you want, just grab her phone and start saying, surf trip Maldives, surf trip Costa Rica, surf trip Hawaii, new surfboard.
Great. Now I'm going to get travel ads.
So all that stuff is now going to show up on all your stuff. Yes. You're going to go, Mike Davis, darn it. So
did you get an Easter present? Do you and Darcy do Easter presents?
We don't. No, Easter present was all our family over.
Yeah.
So we had all the kids in town over, and we had, it was just super fun. And then Darcy's sister and our brother-in-law were in town. And so they have 5 kids, and all 5 of their kids were over. So we had a pretty full house. It was pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. This is the first Easter that we've all gone to church, but we didn't all go to church together. So I went early to the colonial service at 7:30. Darcy was in childcare. And mainly because we knew the other services were going to be really crowded. Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm going to go. And then I went home and finished cleaning up, and not that there was a lot to do. Darcy had done the majority of the work on Saturday, but kind of got everything ready. So she did childcare, went to church with our son, Matt, and his fiance, Peyton. And then she was back in childcare again. Yeah. So she finally shows up. But
she
everything,
was probably devastated she got to snuggle babies.
Yeah, she was happy. And there were a lot of great kids. And I cleaned everything up, got everything done. Yeah. I'm reading the Bible from front to start to finish. I finally got out of Kings. I didn't think I was ever going to get out of the Kings.
It's a long haul.
I did not think I was going to get out of Kings. Those Kings just kept coming and dying. And then the next one was coming and dying. And I knew I was getting close when they weren't comparing how long someone had been in power to how long the person in Israel or Judah was in power. I was like, okay, they're not mentioning Israel anymore. So Israel's gone. Yeah. So now we're just with Judah. Come on, guys.
We can make it.
It was like watching Return of the King. Like, just throw the ring in the fire. Just throw it in the fire.
Oh, my word. That takes so long.
Just throw it away. So,
You're right
yeah,
there. Who
so-
wants to stand that close to lava that long?
I know. So I'm in. I finally have made it out of there. So I'm really, really, really happy. So
Reading the
yes.
Bible front to back, you get through Genesis.
Yeah.
You get through Exodus. Okay, I just have to make it through. Okay, Leviticus. Oh,
Mhm.
Numbers.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh.
once you get past Kings, it's pretty smooth sailing.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I've been trying to read a certain number of chapters. I've been hitting that, but the pages I've been falling behind it.
Yeah.
But the chapters are about to get. I think Psalms is going to be a pretty long one to get through. But
But
yeah.
Proverbs is really short.
But Proverbs is great. I was already
great.
reading. I was
Yeah.
like a third of the way through Proverbs before I started this.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, that's going to be speed reading for like a third of it. But
Yeah.
Proverbs is phenomenal. Yes. It's really, really good. And there's a couple of short books in there
Mhm.
that I haven't gotten to yet. So
Yes.
although Ruth was kind of short.
Not your favorite?
No, it's just okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not, they're not, I'm just learning.
Very
I'm just going
girl
through.
Focus.
I thought it was girl power.
What would you think if, like, Darcy told your daughter to go lay down next to some dude asleep in a barn?
The thing that has amazed me throughout all of this is how much our society hasn't changed.
Yeah.
The things that lead us astray were the things that led people thousands of years astray.
Yeah.
So it was, the search for power, sex, possessions, right? It
Mhm.
hasn't changed. It might be different possessions. It might be different currencies of money. The sex thing is still there. I mean, it was all there. You had people that were drunks you know, so yeah, I mean, we look at ourselves and went, oh, we're so much better than people were 6,000 years ago.
Nope.
Not really. We're still kind of
Nah.
fighting. We have
Same
better
battles.
We have better plumbing.
Yes.
We have air conditioning.
Mhm.
We've got some improvements. Medical procedures are better, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, but overall, we still have the same vices and we
Mhm.
still struggle with the same things.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of just, it's been interesting.
Yeah.
So very, very interesting. Speaking of religion, the Pope died.
Yes, he did.
Uh,
How poetic was it that he did the Easter service and then he passed quietly on Holy Monday?
that thought, it was it's almost as though he was willing himself to get
Mhm.
through one more Easter
One more
service.
Easter. Yeah.
He met with J.D. Vance the day before. So I was waiting for the conspiracy theorists to throw that out there.
Word.
Yeah. But
Well,
no,
He's had poor health for a while
yes.
and he came back out. And if you do any research on hospice or you've experienced people going through hospice for kind of protracted declines, a lot of times right before someone passes, they get a burst of energy and a burst of enthusiasm. And I feel like that was Easter Sunday for him.
Mhm.
And then,
Yeah.
then he was done.
Look, my dad, when he passed, we put him in hospice, the Bailey Center. Thank you, Bailey's and everyone else who donated to that. And he rallied.
Yeah.
He went from really struggling to being able to have conversations with everybody. And then, this whole staff was like, we're ready to send him home.
Yeah.
And go to see him the next morning. And they're like, we're not sending him home. I mean,
Yeah.
that was it. It was the rally and then kind of crash. So.
There's something to be said also for there seems to be not an element of will necessarily, but when someone feels as if their work is finished,
Mhm.
because they told us that my grandmother who passed away, it was a year ago at the beginning of April. They told us that they expected her to spend at least a week or two in hospice, and she was gone the next day.
Mhm.
I mean, they just got her checked in. And so she seemed to be ready. That was her
Yes.
time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think all that's, yeah, but it was interesting. I had a huge debate over the Pope because he was he was more political. He was more
Mhm.
left-leaning political.
Yep.
Father Tom and I got into it on the radio show about, the Pope thought that we should have open borders in the United States. I'm like, well, when he takes a wall down around the Vatican.
Around the Vatican. Yeah.
And Father Tom, I was like, there's not a wall. I'm like, Father Tom, I've seen it. It's a wall. That's a wall around the Vatican. You can't say it's not a wall around the Vatican. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I've been there.
I know.
Yeah.
Probably still need to go to confession for that radio interview.
Well,
Probably still. Yeah.
Yeah, there were certainly some controversial stance that this particular pope took that was somewhat divisive between more conservative leaning Catholics versus some of the more progressive left leaning Catholics. And so, left leaning Catholics very much celebrated those stands, and some conservative Catholics took umbrage.
Yeah.
But, he was a person, he was a man. So whether he is fallible is not up for question. But I mean, I think he served with his whole heart, and I think that he stood by what he believed. I don't know if I agreed with everything he believed, but I think he stood by what he believed, and he served selflessly. And I think that there were things that he did that were incredibly honorable in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's a complicated.
Yeah.
They're unless you're completely totally evil, which would be some of those people, but most people are pretty complicated, and you got things you go, wow, I really love what that person did, but I disagree with that. And part of that is us, because we're not all the same.
Yeah.
Barbara Jean is bringing a whole nother conspiracy theory. That the Pope wanted to die on the day that Prince died. So he hung around until then. So, yeah. Barbara Jean, the J.D. Vance theory is probably going to be out there before the Prince theory is.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
Although there's probably a whole subsection in Reddit of message boards about Prince. And
I'm sure there is.
Probably this has come up.
There are whole Facebook pages
just dedicated to Prince.
To Prince, yeah.
Cool.
Multiple. And I know that because Barbara Jean's friends with all of them, and she shares them.
And she shares them with you. Listen, he did some amazing. He was
quite the artist.
Quite the musician. I could not have sung and danced in those years.
No.
And at his height, that was like such a lift.
And it was, so I really enjoyed, there's like this subgenre of people getting interviewed, like celebrities getting interviewed about celebrity encounters. And the ones where people talk about meeting Prince are always incredibly fun stories. Like he randomly invited, I think, Jimmy Fallon to play ping pong with him. And it was like in the weirdest way possible. You can get invited to like just show up to this building, and then you get ushered into this private room. And then like almost no words were said between the two of them, and they just battled it out on the ping pong table, and then he was just gone. It's like, they're so funny. The stories of people meeting Prince are hilarious.
Probably a brand new ping pong table.
I'm sure.
Brand new ping pong balls.
I'm sure.
Brand new paddles that nobody had ever touched.
They had to have all been purple too.
Yeah.
If they weren't purple, I would have been disappointed.
I'm not playing you without a purple paddle. I'm just sorry, it's not going to happen.
I know. I thought I was playing with Prince.
No,
they're just hilarious stories of people meeting Prince.
Yes.
And
I don't know. And celebrity doesn't do much for me.
No.
I mean, I kind of see people, and I feel sorry for him because everyone's always coming up to him and asking him stuff. So I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do much. Yeah.
I have seen numerous celebrities in various, just in travels, encountering them in cool places. And unless they're there to meet people, I never bother them.
Yeah.
That's just, I'm not trying to. When I was in Europe in high school, I ran into a random assortment of famous enough people that you would recognize. And every time I just sort of like, we locked eyes, had that sort of moment of, I know who you are, and I know who you are.
Yes.
And then I just kind of tipped my hat to them, and they would give me a big smile and keep walking, because I was surrounded by a bunch of high schoolers. It was a high school trip. So they would have been swarmed, and it would have been a whole thing.
So we had Darcy's cousins were in Nashville, and they went out to dinner it was a prom or a homecoming date. And the restaurant they were at, Faith and Tim were there.
Yeah.
But there's like 12 of them at a table. They didn't go bother them. They didn't go do anything. They just kind of let them have their own dinner. And when they went to pay, the waiter said, Faith and Tim took care of your dinner, which is kind of their way of saying, hey, thanks for letting us have our, and I thought it's really cool. I mean, I think celebrities that have fun with that are the ones that
I feel like,
stay
can I get
sane.
a copy of the receipt?
Yeah.
I just want a copy of the receipt.
Just want to see.
You can black out all the important stuff except the signature.
I just want to see that.
That would be the only thing I'd ask for.
Yes. Oh, I know. Prince kicked. Yeah, because Prince was quick. He was lightning quick that day.
Yeah.
Of course he beat Jimmy Fallon.
Evidently, he was like a competition level ping pong guy. And so there's a lot of celebrities that just randomly got like this red phone, like phone call, like a spy movie. And we're given like coordinates where to show up.
Show up if you want to play ping pong.
There was like no communication.
Table tennis. It's called table tennis.
It's ping pong.
The fact that Jimmy Fallon
Prince plays ping pong. I can't walk away from that alliteration. It's not table tennis.
I just don't think I could do all the P's. I just don't think I could. All right. There's some other kind of crazy stuff that's out there.
Yes.
So the MS-13 gang member that is down in El Salvador. You had the Maryland.
Allegedly, or are we confirming that? I mean.
All right. So you can say allegedly he's an MS-13, but on his hand, he has MS-13.
Yes, he has MS-13 tattoos. So all the people that are saying that he's not, he's surrounded by MS-13 people right now.
Mm-hmm.
If he got those tattoos and didn't earn them through the channels of the gang, those tattoos would no longer be a part of his body.
And nor would his hand.
Yeah, like they would no longer be on his fingers. So whether they're cut off or the hand is cut off, I don't know. But they're not the kind of people that play Stolen Valor. There were 2 high school kids.
Mm-hmm.
As an example, there were 2 high school kids that were pretending that they were MS-13. So hot girls affiliated with the gang went and honeypotted these 2 kids, and the gang like jumped them.
I would
they
think
text the gang members where they were, like, okay, they showed up, kept them busy, kept them distracted until they were surrounded. And I don't know, I don't remember if the kids made it or not, but like, you don't play like you're a part of this group.
No.
And he was wearing their colors, he has their tattoos, and he was in a room with them. So I don't get the argument that he's not affiliated with the organization.
It does. I said this the other day. He's here illegally. If you send him back somewhere he goes, I'm okay with that, because I can't go anywhere else in the world as an American and just go, I don't have a passport, I'm just here.
Yeah.
The reaction is, no, you're not getting in our country, or no, we're sending you back, or no, we're arresting you and then we're sending you back. Yeah. The rest of the world treats us completely differently, and we act like, oh no, he has a Bill of Rights. No, he didn't have the Bill of Rights. He's not a citizen.
Citizens have the Bill of Rights.
He doesn't have that. And the thing that there was, Bill Ackerman had a comment that I thought was really, really good. He said, a nation in which one administration can allow millions of unvetted illegal migrants into the country, but requires that a court vet each deportation decision is as an individually adjudicated case, will soon lose the values our democratic system was intended to preserve.
Yeah.
It's 100% true. Millions came in, no one said a word, we didn't vet them. But now we got to vet them to get them back out. It makes no sense.
No.
And then liberals are going nuts over, oh my gosh, the infringement upon his rights. Where in the hell were you during COVID when blue state governors shut down everything and looked at American citizens and said, well, if you don't have a job, that's your fault. Or if you don't get vaccinated, you can't come to work. And they're going, Trump is trying to get total control and be a fascist. What did you do to your fellow citizens 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Worse than what you are saying that Trump wants to do to illegal immigrants today.
Speaking of a different late night, Jimmy, he made jokes about if you're unvaccinated and you go to the hospital, then, die, Wheezy. Like, that is inhumane.
Yeah. I mean, the hypocrisy of this and the concern over someone who's not a citizen is absolutely appalling to me. And the Democrats want to continue. Right now, the Democrats are continuing to write campaign ads for Republicans for the midterms. And they're writing some really good ones. Good ones. Whenever, I can't remember which talking head on Sunday asked the Maryland senator, who paid for this? Oh, well, it was approved and it's the same people that pay for all of them. And they're like, follow up. I'm like, I can't believe they asked the follow up, but who pays for all of them? Oh, well, the taxpayer. And
so we paid for him to go have lunch with an MS-13 member in jail. So you could see that he was fat, dumb, and happy. Like, he looked healthy. He looked well-dressed, clean.
I love we're having lunch with margaritas. I love that. I don't know who decided to troll that, but whether it was the president of El Salvador or someone in the United States said, hey, it'd be great if they had margaritas with pictures. That's You know,
Then you'd see them knuckles with those tattoos. Bobby
Mhm.
says he imagines the gang tats would be like wearing Hell's Angels motorcycle patches. Yeah, you don't do that. Not if you want to survive.
speaking of that, there was a phenomenal meme the other day
Oh, yeah.
that people want Elon Musk to buy Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
Because we want to see the protesters show up outside of biker bars where Harleys are and damage the bikes.
Yeah.
Just
Go ahead,
saying.
try it.
Yeah, go ahead and try
Go
it.
ahead, try it. Maybe that's the next vehicle Tesla should come out with.
Might be different, might be completely different than the reaction that you get from a Tesla owner.
Yeah.
Might be. Yeah.
Tesla motorcycles. I mean, let's do this.
Tesla. Dude, would they let them in the club, the biker club?
Well,
I
it
mean, would you
depends.
have your own Tesla biker
It
club?
depends on who he courts to be the like face of the Tesla motorcycle. If he like paid off Hell's Angels to ride Tesla motorcycles,
I can't see it, but the thought runs through my head is like all of a sudden there's a Tesla Hells Angels club, and they show up at Buc-ee's or they show up at the Busy Bee and they take over the charging station. and this one little dude has been driving for hours, right, to get to that charging station.
he's surrounded by 400 Tesla motorcycles.
I'll just wait. You guys take your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not in a rush.
some of the thoughts of that just kind of just are hilarious.
But it would charge really fast
Yeah.
because it's little.
We're not coming to your biker bar unless you got a charging station. There's
Evidently,
so much to this that would be funny.
evidently, Harley has an electric motorcycle.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, Barbara Jean points out, where was all of the whining and rending of clothing when Obama was deporting around 1 million illegal immigrants?
There wasn't.
No.
There was none.
It was just silence.
There was silence.
It's the same with Code Pink. Code Pink was at every single political anything screaming about how Bush was a war criminal. And then the second Obama's in the White House and he becomes the absolute droner of the world, dead silent.
Well, there's theater, political theater.
Mhm.
And I think the American people are kind of over political theater.
Oh, yeah.
We want results.
Yeah.
And so if you keep going back to political theater and identity politics, political theater, I think most people have tuned that out. There are some that have not. I see some every day.
Yep.
And I talk to some every day. And it's like, you just don't get it. It's both sides are crushing us right now.
Mhm.
And you can hate Trump, but he's the only guy that's fighting for the American worker right now.
Yeah.
If he wasn't there, both parties would still be doing the same thing. I can't remember. Somebody made a great comment that I watched this week. It was about the difference between progressives and Republicans in government prior to Trump was that the Republicans were doing all the same things the progressives were doing. They were just doing it under the speed limit.
Yeah.
And it's like, and when I thought about that, I thought that is one of the best descriptions of the problem, right? Progressives were
That's why
going
neocons are getting destroyed.
200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But the Republicans said, well, we're not like them.
We're slower.
We're just doing it at 70 miles an hour. So yeah, it was such a great thing. So yes, forget
Elon would have to do something about the sound of the engine.
They have
No
fake.
silent motorcycles.
No, Bo Bozard was on. They have fake noise on the trucks right now. You can set it so that it makes an engine noise
Mm-hmm.
while you're driving it. They
Yeah.
have that done, and it's like, I'm like, why? It's like, well, some people like to hear the engine noise
Rev,
so they
yeah.
know that it's running.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's kind of a validation issue of driving a car.
Yeah.
For the longest time,
And
we
that you're
drive the
driving
car.
something fast.
You're driving something fast. Oh, I got a picture for you to share.
Oh, man.
If I send this picture,
email it to me.
I'm gonna. You want an email?
Yeah.
I can email this.
Mike
picture.
Davis Show at gmail.com. Let's see if you can get
What?
it right in the last 8 days.
When did we get an email? Why did you wait till the last 2 weeks to do this?
So listened to, so affirmed. Working with men. What am I
I
going to
can't believe you finally did this. This would have been so useful before.
do? I know. Just imagine.
All
We've
right.
been on top of it a little earlier.
I have sent you one of the best pictures I've ever taken in my entire life.
All right.
Friday night, I'm at the amphitheater.
Okay.
And
Oh, wait. Clay was there. Is this a picture of Clay?
I didn't get to see Clay. I had my hands full.
That's right. He was at the concert.
I was
Thursday.
trying to get there. The worship music had started. I was rushing to get to see it with Darcy, and I see this picture, and it spoke to me. I had to stop. I had to get a picture of it. It was just too much. I've asked people all weekend long to caption it. I'm still working on the best captions. One of them was geriatric Captain Morgan.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just awesome and good. So it was one of the best pictures I think I've ever taken in the whole history of me taking pictures. It was
See
just
if I get it.
amazing. See if you can get it up and in the comments.
Here.
It was good.
You want me to just show it on the show?
Yeah.
All
You
right.
don't often see this. And for a surfer, this is a prominent, legendary sup guy.
Yeah.
So we're always making fun of guys on stand-up paddleboards. And it just,
Is
when I
this
saw
Tim
the thing,
O'Neill?
that's Tim O'Neill. That's the legend.
Is he letting everybody know something about
it
himself?
was just too much. It was just too good. I said, is this the sup seating section right here? So yeah,
Right on.
it was.
All
it
right,
was,
caption the picture, everybody.
If you I like the geriatric Captain Morgan.
No,
So-
when was Troy there? He was there for a concert, I think Wednesday?
I think so.
He had fun.
There's been a lot
He was
of
at
concerts.
church on Thursday and Friday. So yeah,
There
Wednesday
was
he
a
was there.
lot. There was a lot of concerts there.
Yeah.
We had one the other night. It sounded really good from the backyard, and then I pulled the guy up and started playing some of his songs. And I'm like, he sounds better in the backyard.
He sounds better from 14 blocks away.
I was like, for 14 blocks away, I can't hear the lyrics, and the music sounds pretty good in the
Mhm.
backyard. But I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to.
Yeah. All right.
I don't want to ruin anybody's experience. They probably loved them. There's probably lots of people that I've gone to see at the amphitheater, and they thought, I can't believe you're going to see that person.
You never know how it's going to sound from
No,
14 blocks
you don't
away.
ever know. I'll save this one for, I'll save this for
All right.
Thursday. It's a good question for Thursday.
Okay.
We'll resurrect that one on Thursday.
Pardon the pun. Bobby said he heard there was political theater on Saturday at the Castillo grounds post parade. I don't know. I didn't hear about this.
I don't know. I got no idea. I didn't hear that.
I'm no drama llama.
I do know. I drove.
Trying to avoid drama.
I drove past 4 police cars today,
Mhm.
parked on the side of the road on the island, and I almost picked up the phone and called Pete. And I'm like, nope, he's on his sabbatical. I'm just going to let him go.
Not going to do it.
Just going to let him go.
Wouldn't be
It's all
prudent.
going to be good. It'll be reported on tomorrow. So
Yeah.
So we don't need that.
Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. We'll see.
It might be. It might not. We'll find out.
Yep.
So yeah. Anything else on Easter?
Weirdly enough, the day after Easter was our pig dissection day.
You have got to come up with a better school schedule.
So sorry. So I had kind of a stressful Easter because it was our last regular class. So I had to get preparations for our end of year ceremony. We're doing a skit. I had to get that finished. I had to get preparations for pretty major dissection. And then I had to get preparations for our sort of final exam, which will be next Monday. Plus we had family over. And so I was at church for 2 services. I left, came home, had to take a nap because we had friends Easter the day before.
Mhm.
We had, let me think, we had 3 other families with 7, 8, 11 additional kids.
Math is so
in our
hard for you.
house.
I feel so bad for you when you're trying to count.
It's so bad. It's terrible. So we had an additional 6 adults and an additional 11 kids in my house on Saturday, and that was a party. And then we had family Easter on Sunday. So it was a long weekend, and I had lots of work to do. But we had our pig dissection, which felt weird timing to do a pig the day after Easter.
Yeah.
And it was a fetal pig. And so all of these kids are like Christian kids from conservative households. It's just the way it has shaken out this year. And so the fact that it was a fetal pig, there was lots of questions. It's like, were these pigs harvested from abortion? Like, there were lots of questions that we had fetal pigs. And I was like, I have no idea how they harvested them.
Oof.
I didn't even think about it. Like these were just the ones that were available. So there was a lot of interesting questions before we even started the dissection. And then I only got 2 specimens because I knew that we were going to have decreasing willingness to participate
Yeah.
as we got to more like cute and cuddly critters. Like everyone did an earthworm, everyone did a crayfish, and then every other kid, like I had half as many frogs as I had students, and then I just had 2 pigs.
Yeah.
Both female. There was much discussion about their names. It was an experience.
I don't. We did all that stuff in high school. I'm good.
Yeah.
Did it once. I'm okay.
So I've gone through a ton of dissections as a student, and I don't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I get worked up about the idea of having to lead these kids through dissections because, like, I'm the one bringing in the bodies, and I'm the one giving the instructions on the whole thing.
There's so much there that I'm just not going to go. I'm just not going to go there.
I'm sorry, Kathy. We're teaching biology, and dissections are part of biology. And so we had 2 little girl pigs. One was Crispy Bacon, and the other was Johnny Pig. I don't know why.
No.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. What are we dissecting next? Dolphins?
That was the last one. I have dissected a dolphin. I did a common dolphin.
I'm assuming it's one that washed up on a shore.
Yes, it was a necropsy. Officially, it was a necropsy, but it was at the end of my marine mammal bio class, we had the opportunity to go to a rescue facility, and they're also the ones that get called when a dead animal washes ashore. And so we got to go to their facility and perform a necropsy on a common dolphin that had washed ashore just southwest of Montauk.
Okay.
And so just before Montauk Point. And yeah, that was a really cool dissection. Actually, I saw a lot of God's design in that dissection, and that was really cool.
So what did you see that was God's design?
So we've got this dolphin on the table in front of us, and she's talking to us about the procedure, and you can be as involved or as uninvolved as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so she asks for volunteers to do the first cut. So I audited this course because I didn't need this credit. I had all the science credits I needed.
Yeah.
But because I wanted to be a dolphin trainer, I was like, of course I'm going to take marine mammal bio. So I audited the course so that I could get the information, but my grade wasn't writing on it or anything. And so, like, because I was auditing, I didn't have to go to this, but I'm a science dork, so I went. And so the lady's like, okay, who wants to cut first? We're going to cut off the dorsal fin.
Spicoli. In the Fast Times at Ridgemont High when they go to do the dissection?
Yeah.
Are you in my class? I am today.
I am today. Yep. And so the first cut was to cut off the dorsal fin. And so that's not an easy thing to do, but I got it off. And so what I saw was the way whales and dolphins are designed, because they have a blubber layer. So when they're in warm water, they need the ability to dump heat quickly. And when they're in cold water, they need the ability to conserve heat. And that's part of the reason why they have blubber water. You lose your heat 25 times faster in the water than you do the air. So that's why they have blubber. But when they're swimming fast, when they're working hard, when they're in warmer temperatures, they've got to dump that heat.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way that they do it is that they have, I'm going to get it wrong, vessels and veins because I'm tired, but they have the vein in the center, and then they have arteries around, or capillaries around the outside. So they have a thicker vessel, and then aligned all around the outside are the capillaries. And so the way it's designed is that the hot blood goes out to the dorsal fin, the tail flukes, and the flippers. And then when it turns around, it's going through lots of capillaries, which are right up against the skin. And so the water can cool off the blood before it reenters when it goes back to the heart. And so what's even cooler is that it's pretty. The way it looks like daisies. The arrangement of the vessels, it looks like the little like cartoonish daisies that you draw where you have the thick center and then you have the little circles all around the side for the petal. That's what it looks like. And
now we know why she continues to dissect.
And so I was like, I just had this moment of, God knew that at some point I was going to see that, and that I was going to notice what he did there. And it was like this cute little happy detail that he didn't have to make that system pretty. He just had to make it work.
Yeah.
And it was actually really cute and pretty once you like take out of the fact that I just cut off a dorsal fin.
Yes.
But so yes, that was what I saw in God's creation and his order and his design in there. And it's silly and it's childish, but it meant something to me.
Heart.
And now I've shared that
And
weird
now
little fact with all of you.
And everyone can walk up to a man and go, how was the dissection on the dolphin?
Yeah.
To get the long version of that.
That's
Right.
the only time I've been that close to a common dolphin.
Okay.
They're really cool. Really cool colorations. They're
Yeah.
the ones that have like the hourglass kind
Mhm.
of coloration where it's almost a goldish brown and a
Mhm.
gray on their sides. So that was really cool.
All right. We do have 5 questions today.
We do.
We have 5 questions running.
Mhm.
So question number 1, who are you watching in the morning? Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Answer C, all of the above.
All of the above is the only answer you guys should
We
put
love
into that.
everybody. All of the above.
It was right there. I had to take the
Okay.
question. All right. Easter food or snack? What are your favorite Easter food / snack?
I'm a devil eggs girl. We already talked about that on Thursday.
Yep.
So I had deviled eggs for lunch. But my favorite
Because no one else ate them yesterday.
because we didn't have any more leftovers. We had too many people in our house. But
And
my
the eggs
favorite
were still there.
my
proving
favorite
my point.
Easter candy is Cadbury cream eggs. I love
Yeah.
Cadbury cream eggs.
Yes.
There was a BOGO on this giant Cadbury cream egg that had like 26 Cadbury cream eggs, and I put it in the family group chat, and nobody bought it for me. I got a 4-pack, which is better because I'm like trying to not
Trying not to eat.
They're
looking out
eat
for you.
bad stuff. But like, I was really expecting someone to give me that 20-pack of Cadbury cream egg, and they didn't.
I'm going to tell you
They love me more than I love myself.
the go-to at night at our house.
Yeah.
Trying to have a little something sweet before you go to bed. The
Mhm.
Ghirardelli dark chocolate squares
Yeah.
with mint.
Oh, I'm dark chocolate, sea salt, caramel.
You can have that one too, but we
That's
put them
good.
in the freezer.
Of course you
And
do.
they're so good.
You're a cold chocolate guy.
They're
It's so weird.
So good.
I feel like chocolate loses some of its flavor and some of its texture when it's frozen.
so good. We had what did we have? The best food. God, we had so many good things yesterday. We had some quiches that some people had made that were super good.
Mm-hmm.
Baldo, who works for me, we joked he has Baldo bread. Well, they also do cinnamon rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some cinnamon rolls from them.
Nice.
And they are the closest thing to something that came out of Peterson's.
Yeah.
So good. So we cooked those up. That did not survive.
Mhm.
Peyton made this, it's like whipped cream, like pudding with crushed up Oreos in it, and then some chocolate in it, and to make it feel healthy, I threw some of the fruit in there, and it made it into like a parfait.
Loser. Why'd you do that?
Oh no, I was on my second one when I did that. So I had to have like a reason to go to the second one. So I'm like, if I throw fruit in here, I can at least justify.
We might need to talk about your food guilt. You can just make your choices.
Your mom says she failed you.
I know. I love you, Mama. Even though you didn't give me the giant Cadbury cream.
No. So did you attend a church? Did you go to church? There's a lot of discussion about how many people in the United States are believers, how many people are going to church. A lot of studies came out around last week, obviously because of Easter week and Holy Week.
Yep.
So did you go to church?
I went to church. Good Friday. I had to work that service. I had to work all the services. I didn't make it to Monday, Thursday. That's my first year not making it to Monday, Thursday in forever. But I just couldn't get there with traffic. The service was as we were ending the show, and I just didn't make it. Good Friday I did make, and then I was at 2 Easter services, Easter Sunday service.
I did one Easter, one Good Friday. Monday, Thursday, I never knew it was a thing until like 15 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then Shrove Tuesday, which was like the pancake.
Yeah, that's
thing.
right. Before Ash Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday, right? Yeah. None of those things. And probably because as a Catholic, we would leave right after communion. and I'm pretty sure those announcements came after communion and before the end of the service. So we just didn't know.
Have to make your
I
tea
didn't
time
know.
and
I mean,
brunch.
in my defense, we were leaving. Yeah, yes, we were home. Yes, Mom, we stayed for communion. Yes.
Kathy says carrot cake is an all-time fave. So I hate carrot cake, but evidently I'm like an idiot savant and I make the best carrot cake ever. So I have to make it a lot.
First of all, we all agree with the idiot savant because you've been on this show this long. We agree with that.
We know.
But the carrot, I love carrot cake.
Yes, like a lactose intolerant cheesemaker. I will never understand my gift. But everyone wants my cheesecake or my carrot cake for, I think a lot of it has to do, I just make a really good cream cheese icing.
Yeah.
But my carrot cake's very moist and delectable.
We will have to have some carrot cake. All right. I went to Colonial again, and for me, I just think it's important to go. I think, this is one of those two services that people that aren't regular church attenders will usually probably try to go to. And I think it's important to go. And I encourage you to go all the time. I think you'll feel better. So the other question that was asked, and we did on Thursday, do you believe in the resurrection?
Yeah.
Because there's not, the number of people that believe in the resurrection has kind of leveled. I want to say it was right above 50% or something.
Yeah.
I always have raised Catholic and just accepted that. It's not something that, even as I grew up in my critical thinking, I ever went, I need to rethink that. I was always like, yeah, that's the way that is. So I just accepted that as faith a long time ago and never really, there's people that want to go deep into some things, but I'm like.
If you're struggling with a belief in the resurrection, I would highly encourage you to read Lee Strobel's books, A Case for Christ. He has a series of 3. I got one volume that has his first 3 A Case For books. And he really goes into with historians because he was an atheist and he was a journalist, and his whole idea, his wife was converted to Christianity, and he was like so annoyed, like, where did my wife go? He felt like this church had body snatched his wife and he had lost his partner. And so he's like, all right, well, I'm just going to systematically investigate this and tear down every aspect of her faith and I'll get my wife back. And so he went out like.
First of all, how long was he married? Because if she put up with a guy who was constantly trying to tear down everything she believed in, I'm like, as his best friend, I would have gone, dude, worst idea ever. You're going to try to prove that your wife is wrong and then hold that over her. So you might win, but you're going to be living by yourself because she's going to divorce your butt.
They had been married for a long time and they had kids. And so
bad plan.
The kids started going to church. And he's like, I've lost my family. This whole thing's getting hijacked, dude. And so, that was his mission, was to dismantle Christianity for once and for all so he could get his wife back.
Worst plan ever. Worst plan ever.
So he went and sought out, like, he didn't seek out people that were sympathetic to the faith. Let's just say that. So he wanted the highest level experts so he could come back to his wife and be like, told you so, and ended up getting convinced. The truth of Jesus Christ and the resurrection and the virgin birth, everything.
Did they make a movie about this with Kevin Sorbo?
I believe they did. I haven't seen the movie, but the books are absolutely worth the read.
Okay.
If you're an analytical person and you need to really process the evidence, the historicity of Jesus, and you need to.
We make up words as we go here. I have finally had an impact on Amanda.
I promise you that's a word. So if that's what you need to really get over that hurdle, I absolutely recommend those books to you. They're long reads, but they're good and they're dense. And I bought a bunch of the experts' books. I'm slowly working through some of the experts he interviewed.
Yeah.
Because apologetics is, I think it's something that we seriously lack. And that's probably why the belief in the resurrection and the triune God has gone down in this country, because we gave up apologetics training so that people know why they believe in what they were raised to believe. So people just walked away because they were like, Jonah and the whale. Psh. And so Sunday school theology is not doing this country any favors.
Okay.
Get in there and start studying some apologetics.
I don't disagree with that. I think that we have watered down a lot of religion, which is part of what our issue is with why people are non-believers today, because we've watered it down. There's not a, hey, you have to do this to get to here. Absolutely. And one of the worst things you can do is lie to people, soft sell. You got to do this to get to here, right? God hadn't changed the way he set all that up. So we've tried to kind of reimagine what that would look like in
Mhm.
today's norms, and it's not going to work.
And tying belief in a savior
Mhm.
to whether or not you are personally wealthy or personally happy by the worldly definition of happy is a terrible idea as well.
That's right.
Not a good way.
All right, breakfast. So I'm a
Breakfast.
big diner breakfast guy. So when you go to breakfast, what do you order? For me, I'm always a Western omelet without the mushrooms. I think
Yeah.
mushrooms don't belong anywhere near food, but that's just me. If you throw some jalapenos in there. But one of the
Yeah.
great things Andy does, he's got Dado ketchup,
Mm-hmm.
which is so good.
Yeah.
So Dado ketchup on that as well.
Now I know why you're there all the
Yeah.
time. That'll catch it.
It's a Dado ketchup. You had me at Dado ketchup. So
I'm
yes.
eggs over easy. I'm bacon.
Because you're not.
Long history of being difficult to work with.
Susan, you owe me for that one. Amanda's mom. That was yeah. I will accept gifts for that one.
Yeah. So probably eggs over easy over
Yeah.
medium. That's where I like them, and I prefer bacon to sausages. And then if I'm having carbs, I have pancakes. So much butter. I'm a cheesy grit person also. Like I like very buttery cheesy grits.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm getting at a diner if I'm just going all out and
Yeah, the
eating
bacon's
everything.
a must. I'm not I'm not a big sausage guy.
I can do sausage, but I love bacon.
I used to be a huge pancake guy, but it's just like eating this loaf of bread, and then
Yeah.
I just carry it around with me for the rest of the day. And
Yeah.
it's like I just no.
That's why I only eat if I'm gonna eat pancake. It's the worst time of day to do it. But if I'm going to eat pancakes, then it's when we do breakfast for dinner. Because like I can go to bed after that meal. I can't start my day with pancakes.
100%.
I can't.
No.
So if
No.
I'm starting my day and I'm not on vacation, I'm not getting pancakes. But if I'm on vacation and I'm just going to the pool to take a nap, then I'll take it.
All right. So tomorrow morning there's a morning show.
Yes, there is.
There's no afternoon show.
Nope.
And on the 904 Now, there are other places that you can watch other shows.
And
So-
big announcement, we're now on the 904 Now app. Took us our final 8 shows.
I guess I had to know somebody.
I know.
I guess I had to know somebody. Now I got that information today, so
Yeah.
I got that. And then tomorrow night we've got Teresa from
Yes, we do, from
Epic.
Epic.
She's coming, and it's our last movie night.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got movie night. We're still going to do that. I
Yep.
need to know at the end of the show what the movie is so I can watch it tonight.
Son of a monkey. Come on, guys. Stress me.
I gotta watch it tonight or in the morning early because
You better not start
I
at
don't-
3.
I don't have an Amazon account, and so I gotta start watching.
We should have ordered you the DVD and had it delivered already.
I have a DVD player. I do.
I know.
honestly do have a DVD
I
player.
know.
I'd have to hook it up to the TV, but I actually do have a DVD player. It's in a closet just in case there's an apocalypse and the only thing that's left is DVDs.
Yep.
So you got to think ahead. You just have to think ahead.
I just got sick of, okay, I have Netflix or I have this streaming service or that
Mm-hmm.
streaming service. And then the movies that I enjoyed watching would just disappear.
Mhm.
And it was like constantly playing whack-a-mole with, okay, if I want to watch this movie, now which streaming service?
Yep.
So I just buy it. I don't care. Like, I could end all the streaming services. If I didn't have kids, we'd have no streaming services. I just buy DVDs.
We have
I hate
watched
it.
so little TV the last couple of weeks. It
Yeah.
just, one, there hasn't been a lot on. There's a few series that are kind of going.
1923 ended for you, didn't it?
It did. It was an amazing ending. I really
allowed to talk about
liked.
it.
I really liked it. I'm not going to talk about it, but I did. A simple favor, Kathy. Thank you. It's in the comments now. I'll watch.
Should I bring a water gun tomorrow and just squirt him?
I'm gonna watch it. I'm trying to think
Better.
when. I got to go move furniture at mom and dad's old house, so I'll watch it tonight. I'll probably start it tonight and finish it at 4 a.m. in the morning.
As long as you finish it.
I'll watch it.
There are girls in this one. A lot of girls.
Well, then I'm trying to figure out how to get the
If
title.
that's positive or not.
There's lots of girls, and it's about a simple favor.
Mhm.
So, are you? I'm just trying to.
I'm guessing the title's ironic.
I'm trying to square that circle because I'm trying to figure out how there can be a lot of girls, and it's only a simple favor that we need.
It's an ironic title.
Okay, all right,
I'm predicting.
all right.
I've never seen it. I'm just guessing.
I haven't seen it either, but you know me, I'll have comments tomorrow. So, Kathy, this is your movie, so
And I'm watching it tonight.
you haven't watched it? How can you not? I'm bringing a squirt gun tomorrow.
do it. I actually knew what the movie was.
You know, if we brought a squirt gun in here, we hit any one of the cameras? I mean, I don't think Troy's even made the first payment on them yet.
Are you questioning my aim?
No, I'm questioning how much damage we can do.
I don't want to damage.
I don't either. I don't want to pay for it. No,
I don't want you to pay for the thing that I damaged.
I don't want to either. Listen, you guys are great. Thank you so much. And there's all kinds of options tomorrow morning. But we will be here tomorrow night. As far as I know, there's still only one night show.
Yeah.
We've kept this incredibly simple for you in the evenings.
Super easy.
Yes, we have. It's because we love you.
We love
See you guys
Bye.
tomorrow.